Newcastle mean business, Aston Villa go trick-or-treating, and it's Jesse Marsch running out of time at Leeds.
Evening, Tate.
How are we, Jack? You all good?
Yeah, mate. Have a good weekend?
Yes, very well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was decent.
Shout out Kelsey for happy birthday, Kels.
Yeah.
Lovely time at the beer festival.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Good little beer festival, and spent some time with some friends and some fans, so it was good.
Yeah, especially the fans.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Our Clapham fans.
Yeah, our huge following. But yeah, no, it's good, wasn't it?
No, it's very good. And another exciting week of football. Double game week, wasn't it, this week?
Yes.
And because of double game week, we're going to switch up the pod a little bit this week. Instead of running through all 20 games, or doing a brief bit, we're focused on 4 teams. Jack and I have decided to focus on Fulham, Aston Villa, Leeds United and Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, we feel like Tate said, that obviously it was a pretty manic week of football, but yeah, we just feel like we can give you a better around half hour, whatever it is, about those 4 sides, and a bit of overview, sort of our thoughts and opinions on their games and what's coming ahead, really. Yeah,
breakdown of their seasons, the last week, their games, some players to look out for, some players that have flopped, and our overall thoughts, really.
Yeah.
Before we start with that, I will start with the teaser. So it's like a different one this week. I don't know how everyone got on last week with the teaser. Talking to the people on Saturday, everyone seems to enjoy it. So
yeah,
let's start. Peter Crouch has scored the most headed goals in the Premier League, but who is number 2 and 3?
Oh my god! Most headed goals, okay. No worries.
In the Premier League. So it doesn't include like
cups in
Europe and before the Premier League.
Yeah,
things like that. Peter Crouch has scored the most headed goals in the Premier League, but who is 2 and 3?
All right.
Right.
No worries.
Shall we start down the lane?
Yeah, we'll starting with Tottenham, my Tottenham, but
the Lily Whites.
Yeah. Do we really want to talk about them? Probably not. But yeah, it was built up as a big week in our heads, and we all said it's very tough. We had United away and a Newcastle at home, and yeah, took 2 losses away with us after the week's football.
Yeah, 2 L's. I fancied United at home. Personally, I just think you've got quite a bit similar to Arsenal, got a really bad record there over the years. The Newcastle game I thought was always going to be quite tight. Newcastle look a team hard to beat. A draw maybe. If they get ahead, they're hard to beat on. They're hard to break down.
Well, we just similar to what you just said, but we knew that United away is obviously always difficult, and no matter how good, like last year we were brilliant, but Ronaldo turned up and scored a hat-trick, so we just know it is always tough there. And then when we thought Sunday, okay, you can't accept what happened at United, but right, today against Newcastle, we know they're a good team, they're in good form, they're on the up, and we thought, right, see a bit of reaction, we're at home, everyone's behind you, but yeah, we'll get into it, but yeah, what a load of dross we are in a minute. What a load of rubbish.
Should we start at Old Trafford?
Yeah, we'll have a quick chat about the game.
An overview of that. I'm not in neutral because I wanted both teams to lose, but I thought you were absolutely battered.
Yeah, we did. I've got it here. I literally said those words: battered at Old Trafford. Like there's no hiding from it. We can't really disguise it and say, oh, we didn't have this player, or we had an off game, or no, we just got absolutely slaughtered. I think United had 28 shots, 10 on target. Lloris made 8 saves, and obviously they scored the other 2 attempts. So it just tells you all you need to know about the game. Like we just got absolutely mullered. There's no hiding from that fact. We just got absolutely slaughtered. And yes, we were poor, and we helped them basically win the game as such. But they were good. They were bang up for it, and everything you expect from a United side at home at Old Trafford, and the way we play football and the way we played football that night and allowed them all the time and the space in the world. They're good players on paper, and they're gonna turn up in that evening and go, right, well, Tottenham are basically sitting on the edge of the box. Well, we're just gonna absolutely destroy it, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, that seems straight from kickoff. They were the team on top. Like I said, Lloris made 8 saves, and some of them saves were very, very good saves.
And he started off I mean, I'll get into Lloris after, but
Same.
yeah, don't worry. I think we might agree on Lloris after this discussion. But he started that game off awfully. I think a shot or something went through to him, and he like sort of dove over the ball, and it just about went through, went out for a corner or whatever. I was thinking, bloody hell, here we go. This is gonna be 4 or 5, like, and it could have quite easily been anyway. But after that moment, Lloris was brilliant. He made some amazing saves, and if it wasn't for him, it would have been 3 or 4 at half time. But yeah, we'll get into Lloris. But yeah, there was all around the pitch, and again, it happens very similar to Newcastle performance. But all around the pitch, the players are just not anywhere near it, and you can't excuse Kane or Son and that's the thing as well. It's not even like, it's a shame, like our right back's rubbish. Royale, he's not good. But how good was Kane? How good was Bentancur? Like, we're not even at that level at the minute. We are just all in a terrible, terrible moment. And yeah, United absolutely slaughtered us for it.
The thing is with that, I don't think your formation helps that. It sets you up for 2 players to be able to express themselves. You literally have the goalkeeper, 5 at the back, you have a 3 in midfield, and obviously Richarlison's out, and so is Kulusevski, so it's literally is a 5-3-2.
Yeah, so it's awful. It's abysmal to watch. Abysmal.
5 defenders, 3 centre midfielders who are all literally the same player. Mm-hmm. They are centre midfielders. Yeah. They're not attacking. They're not too defensive. And they sit in the middle of the park, and then it's just up for the other 2 to conjure something up.
Yeah, and that night at Old Trafford, and everyone knows, listening, take knows, I'm not Højbjerg's biggest fan, but
are you not?
That night at United in the first half, I thought, I mean, we were awful, but he was definitely the best one out of those 3. Basuma, again, what is he up to at the minute? Bentancur had a poor game, and I just thought, like I'm saying, like, you couldn't just say, Højbjerg is rubbish, or Royale rubbish, he cost us game. Dyer was rubbish, he cost us game. But yeah, I don't know. It just I think the formation doesn't help you. I think a 3 at the back, 5 at the back. You play that formation because you're compensating for something. So you might be weak on your left side, or your middle centre back is not good, so needs help. So players like Maguire playing the central of a back 3 because they've got 2 people next to them to help them out, and Dyer is no different.
Yeah,
he's no different to that, and he's proved that this week.
And it's similar to, like you said, it's a great compensate for the players. You got Ben Davies, who is quite a good left centre back in that 3, but he couldn't play in a 2. No. And his left back, I don't think he's quick enough.
No, and he's an okay left back. He's like I said before, he's a 5, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, like maybe as a left back on his own. But he's not a top 4 left back. He's not gonna win you a cup. He's not gonna win you a title, is he? Ben Davies is just a solid Prem player, but yeah, you need those players around him to help each other out.
And you wouldn't want Royale on your team, let alone at a right back.
Yeah, well, regardless,
I think I'd probably say something about Doherty.
Yeah.
And then Sessegnon and Perisic are wing backs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fancy them at left back in a 4.
Yeah. No. Yes. And yeah, the Newcastle game was a prime example. We'll talk about everything at once. I think it's probably the best way to go about it. But for example, that Newcastle game, I'm jumping ahead, but we finished the game with four fullbacks on the pitch, and arguably Dyer, when he first came, was a right back.
Yes, 4 out of 5.
Technically, definitely 4, but potentially like 5 players, all at the back, are all fullbacks. We had Royale and Doherty on one side, Dyer in the middle, and Davis and Perisic. And Perisic is like a makeshift left wing back anyway. So yeah, there's so many things that are going wrong at Tottenham. So many things.
That's the problem I think with Conte, though. He does sign these players for that system, and just for example, he leaves. You are stuck with all them players who are suited for a system that not every manager wants to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally really do not like that 5 at the back. I don't like it for England. I just think it's a negative formation. Like I said, it compensates for players not being good enough. Like I think it's always a short-term thing.
Yeah.
If you've been there a year, you need to find players that can play a better system.
Yeah, and like you said about like his short-term goal, short-term sort of thing to achieve. But managers, for example, come in when they're at the bottom of the table and like, right, we need to shore up our defence. We're going to play 5 across midfield or 5 at the back, and for a few games we're just going to try and not concede and nick the game, and we're playing 5 at the back religiously without any shifting. And that's one of Conte's massive issues, is that he's so stubborn and he has his ways, and he's supposed to be the elite of the elite managers and meant to be the best of the best, but he just plays one way and that's it. So is that I don't know. Is that any good? Surely you should adapt and be able to change, but he doesn't.
Well, talking of elite managers who can adapt and change. No, it was like Arteta when he first came into Arsenal. That was the formation he played because the players were so bad.
Yeah.
And he played it for 6 months, won an FA Cup out of it, and then as soon as we got to the new season, he stopped playing it.
Yeah.
Because he then had his first transfer window when he could sign some players he actually wanted
to
play.
Mm-hmm.
But Conte's formation is that.
Yeah.
But I personally think with him, I don't know what you feel as a Spurs fan, he doesn't want to be there. I get the impression of him from, I say I'm a neutral, that he's doing you a favour. That's how it comes across.
And that's I've got here that I think Conte's being let off massively, let off lightly by everyone who's involved with football and Tottenham especially, and the fans even more so. I just think he always comes out and he's always just moaning about something. He's always saying, "Oh, we don't have enough players. Our squad it's not good enough. They've got players out injured. Like for example, Basuma and Spencer not quite ready tactically to play, and yes, I might sign a contract or I might go just constantly like a Klopp, like the top managers that always been there, always moan about something. Like Wenger did it, Ferguson used to do it all the time. I've got here as well that Conte is being paid around 15 million. So at the minute he's supposedly, according to what I found, the third highest in the Prem paid. So Klopp and Pep are roughly a little bit more. So Conte's been paid £15 million by Tottenham, by Levy, by whoever, ENIC, whoever's doing it, to manage us each year, each season. So surely now is a time that he needs to show his worth and show how good of a manager he supposedly is and was.
But the counter argument to that is that apart from for your first 10 games was your best ever start to a Premier League season. So something there is working.
Yeah.
But it's just not.
But it's really tough.
It's frustrating, isn't it? Because it looks like you could do more.
Yeah.
But on the same argument, you've never done more before because that is your best, which is such a strange conundrum to be in, isn't it? Do you go?
I'm gonna say some stuff about us anyway, but it's so frustrating. And you probably think, bloody hell, Jack, we're having a massive meltdown. You've, like you said, you're third. You've had your best start ever. Blah blah. But 3 big games: Arsenal away, lost, played off the park. United away, lost, played off the park. Newcastle, they came to our lane and absolutely took the piss out of us. Absolutely, Callum Wilson just absolutely run us ragged. I think the Newcastle fans just had a party for the whole day. It was ridiculous. So 3 supposedly big games for Tottenham, and we think we're top 4 and going to challenge and win something. All this rubbish. We've got Conte, we're amazing. We've got Harry Kane. 3 massive games, and we lose all 3.
Well, I even had a 4th in there. No, you won't like it. You roll your eyes at it. But it was West Ham away, and it's a draw. That's a normal. If you want to see improvement, they're the games. They're the games you need to win to prove that you're moving somewhere.
Yeah, West Ham is a sort of different game itself. But I agree. Like if we think we're that team, then we should go to West Ham with full of confidence and go and win.
Yeah.
No, it is, and like I said, you probably think having a massive meltdown, but the performances we have played this way against United, against Newcastle. We've played that way exactly the same at Brighton away, at West Ham, at Southampton at home, Fulham at home. We haven't played any different. So yes, we got the results, but it wasn't because we were playing well. It's because we've got certain players in certain positions
who are playing well. Who played well that game.
In that moment, Leicester. Son was brilliant in the second half, scores a hat-trick, comes off the bench. But we have not changed. We are playing the same way, and Arsenal was always going to happen, and now Newcastle and Man United in the same week. So,
So at the beginning of the season, you'd signed Spence, Richarlison, Perisic, Fraser Foster, and Lenglet. If I pronounced that right,
yeah.
I think they were the 5, weren't they?
Yeah.
Out of all them 5, standout one for you?
Perisic for me. The rest, Richarlison looked promising. Well, I know it's still very early on. It's still early in the season, but in his first few games, he was sort of coming off the bench. He was lively. He's that bit of a chaos factor, and he thought, get behind him. And he still, obviously, I still am. I still support him. I still want him to do well. But when he started recently, he actually doesn't look that amazing. And yes, that's tough because Tottenham aren't good at the minute. So, and it's not all Richarlison's fault. But I don't know. I don't know if he's definitely not worth 60 million. That's for sure. But Richarlison just looks very average. Perisic for me is probably the best one we've acquired. But Spence has hardly ever played. Gets thrown on every last 2 minutes. Basuma.
Basuma, I missed him out. Sorry,
we'll get on to Basuma, but just another one barely played. I think I've got here. To be fair, I mean I'll mention it in a sec, but yeah, Basuma's appeared 11 times for Tottenham, 2 full games. One at United he played 82 minutes, and then he played 70 minutes once. The rest, so 6-7 games, he's played 105 minutes. So he's just bit part player, 10, 15, whatever, 5 minutes. So it's tough in that sense, but yeah, when he's played, bloody hell, he looks like Sissoko's brothers turned up, and he's like 14 years old, doesn't know his head from his arse. So,
and you'd think after we've played 12 games now, you'd think Conte would know what he's about, whether he's going to push Højbjerg.
That's why he plays Højbjerg and Bentancur, because obviously Basuma.
You don't fancy him,
nowhere near it, and I despise Højbjerg, but when your options are that, then I suppose he hasn't got much choice, but. But then, in the same sense, they're the players he's brought in. They're his signings. Yeah, and Conte can't say, "Oh, it's not me, it's leave." No, you've had the summer. That's on you. These players you have brought in, and everyone says, on Twitter and all the people that pretend they know stuff. Oh, we got Longley instead of someone else for like Bastoni from wherever he plays for, and we've got an old left back Perisic, and there's always. So instead of Perisic, we should have got someone, but we end up with Perisic. Instead of Basuma, you know what I mean? There's always that chat, and that's just, no, these is who we've got. That's what we dealt with. So just deal with it. You've got to get on with it. Yeah, we spent £60 million on one single player. You can't complain about that.
Yeah, well, the thing about Richarlison for me, I think he's obviously a good player. I think he might be a £60 million striker for a team. Yeah, but you don't play him striker.
No. We play him off. We compensate because we've got Kane.
Yeah, he's unfortunately Spurs have had that conundrum for 10 years, however long Kane's been there. Is that you have to? Who are there any good second choice strikers?
No one wants to be a second choice striker who's any good.
The thing with Richarlison for me, Spurs are playing him. He's like what's the saying? He's a square in a round hole.
Yeah.
He's a good player, but I don't think he's getting the best out of Spurs because he's going to play off the left, and then is he a winger? Then he doesn't want to track back. He's good in the air, but then
5-3-2 or 5-2-3, he's not a right winger. He shouldn't be playing a 5-2-3 and in that formation. Yeah, that's what I'm saying about Conte though. Like, is he all that? Is he? I don't know. But then there's the same. Is it just Tottenham? There's so much, and this week is just brought it all to light. There's so much.
He's obviously a good manager there, but for me. Do you remember, not his biggest fan, Gary Neville, but he was so adamant he did not want him anywhere near Man United for the process that they were going to go through.
Because he plays the way he does.
Yeah, I don't think he was the best, or maybe it was the best point for Spurs at the time. I didn't really care, to be honest.
Well, you're just happy that we're playing the way we are.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. But you are, you third?
Third.
And a large part of that is because Harry Kane is having another season of his life.
Yeah.
Was he 10 goals now already? Was he got
10? Yeah, 10. He scored at the weekend. But again, Kane, he scored that amount of goals, but that hides away from the fact of actually how he's playing in big moments. Arsenal away, Newcastle at home, Manchester United away. Awful, absolutely awful performances. And then it's Kane and Son are the two names. Yes, they can Brighton away or Fulham at home, Southampton at home. Yeah, great. We expect that, but we want you to turn up in a game when it matters the most, and this season so far they haven't.
But that's going back to my thing with that formation. I just found the 5-3 and then the 2 are so far advanced at the 2. There's no player to join up the 2.
No, there's no. I don't know.
But where are goals coming from apart from ever 2?
Yeah, Højbjerg.
There's your answer there. Yeah. Like you would expect maybe Perisic to chip in with a couple. You'd expect maybe the other right wing back. I'm going back to Chelsea. His Chelsea days, Conte. So we had Moses who got a few goals, and Alonso. My God, how many goals that bloke scored!
But I think as well, maybe our group of players aren't playing the way Conte wants him to play. So I know you're saying obviously we watch it and you see it, but Kane is on so far up the pitch, and there's the midfield three a gap of 20, 30 yards, and then the back 5 are literally on the edge of the box. So obviously, yes, we're not playing the formation well and the style well, but change it, adapt it. It's obviously not working. We're not playing well, so change your style. Maybe play 4 at the back or play different players.
That's the first thing I would do. I know it's easier said than done, but always go to back 4 and then get your 2 holders in there, one in the middle, and then your front 3. Because your front 3, when all fit, are probably could hold a what's the saying? Hold a candle to any of the front three in the Premier
Our
League.
front three on paper, you'd think are brilliant, and you can't argue it. But yeah, at the minute we've just been absolutely shocking. And just quickly on the Newcastle game, so they went 1-0 up early on. Sorry. Yeah, one straight ball through the whole team, straight over Dyer, Lloris. So going back. First half hour of Newcastle was not brilliant, but it was okay. We were in the game, we had a couple of chances, someone was threatening, and it looked like quite an even game. And then, that one ball went straight through us. Lloris, whoop whoop, it's the sound of Lloris, came charging out, and then decided, actually, I'm not going to do anything to the ball, I'm just going to fall on the floor, throw my hands up, look at the ref, and hope for something. And Wilson's gone, what are you doing, mate? And just dinked him.
Lovely finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. 25 yards out. Easy 1-0. But
so you're saying no foul?
Oh, no, not a chance.
Okay.
Not a chance. What are you saying?
I'm saying no foul because it's Tottenham Hotspur. But if that's Ramsdale, I'm also annoyed at the goalkeeper, but I'm thinking he has literally... I know he's got nowhere to go. It's one of them ones for me.
I mean, he's had Wilson's arms out, and in the moment, as a fan, you're frustrated. You think it's a foul, but what is Lloris doing? It's just pathetic.
Oh, it's
pathetic.
Very bad goalkeeping.
Yeah. He's just come out, clear everything, clear Wilson, smash the ball. Okay, you've messed up. Grab Wilson, foul him, whatever. Do something. Don't just don't do anything but what you did. And Dyer as well to blame for that, because he's running back, and then he obviously sees Lloris go down. He doesn't. You think, right, my goalie's nowhere to be seen. I've just got to sprint back to that goal line. I might not even get the ball. I might not be anywhere near it, but at least make the right decision. And right, I'm going to sprint back to the goal line and attempt to stop the ball. But yeah, and then the second goal, Lloris again, his ability with his feet is disgusting.
Shambolic.
It is disgusting. And that was shown with the second goal. He clips it out to Session, nowhere near Session for a start. If it did reach Session, it was going round his neck. Their bloke obviously wins the header. Session tries to get back. Almiron gets the ball. Longley, bloody hell.
He sent him. I don't think he sent him for a hot dog. He just didn't do it. He did a nice bit of skill, but it wasn't like...
No, Longley just stood looking at him, straight, shoulders, like chest towards like Newcastle fans. Almiron's gone, okay, mate, I'm just going to tap it round you, sprint, and Longley's like still looking at him. Just awful defending. And again, Lloris comes out. Almiron slops it underneath Lloris's body. It's just calamity of errors, but that sums us up. That is them. That is Tottenham at the very moment.
So shall we go on to our flops and ones to watch for Spurs?
Yeah.
Or you got any more you wanna add on
I've
that?
got a lot to say. Who have I got?
Because my flops and my ones to watch is where I think there's some...
Alright, we can... Yeah, no, that's fine. Go on, go ahead. You start. Who do you...
Should we start off? I'm going to start my one to watch.
Yeah, let's go.
So this is a player we think, playing for the current team, so Spurs, is a player we should watch out for the rest of the season. And I haven't necessarily meant that as a good thing.
Okay, that's I like it. I mean, I have. That's what I've took it as, but go for it. Go on.
My one to watch is Hugo Lloris.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a Spurs. I assume he's a Spurs legend. Like, he's been there. What's he been? 10 years now. Captain.
World Cup winner. French captain.
Has he won anything at Spurs?
No. Oh no, I'm not saying that.
I'm winding you up.
In a like cocky way.
I'm being facetious. He's obviously been a great goalkeeper, but these last 2-3 years, where the Edisons and the Allisons have come in when they're playing their feet. De Gea is a prime example where his now reputation has dropped a lot.
Yeah.
And I think Lloris is on that.
Yeah.
Dropping down.
He's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen at Tottenham.
Yeah.
And it's a short period, I know, but he's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen. And potentially the best goalkeeper I will see. But, and like I said, he's won the World Cup. How can you be the French captain, but you can't kick the ball above 20 feet and more than 50 yards?
He loves.
How can you?
He loves a left-footed
shank,
a shank or a clipped ball with like a backspin and about a foot higher than someone's head.
It's just unbelievable. I don't care. Like,
especially to the left back.
Yeah, and you say, "Oh, look all the say." Yeah, of course. I'm not saying he's not a bad goalkeeper, but his kicking ability and that puts us in danger. That you saw that at the weekend. It puts us in horrible danger, and you can't play like you did at Man United, 10 out of 10, amazing saves, all the rest of it, and then turn up on Sunday and play like an absolute foot. Like, you cannot do that.
For me, it's quite funny because he's literally the absolute opposite of Ramsdale. Ramsdale's like a really good footballer, but I still think that there's a lot to be. I don't know what the saying is. A lot to be desired about his actual goalkeeping.
Massively.
Coming at crosses, punching, catching. But his footballing ability, second to none.
Yeah. Lloris.
So it's a thing. Did he sign a 2-year contract last year?
Possibly. I mean,
I know he was signing one in the summer, didn't he?
That's what I think is.
And it's just, I've just put him on there, but I think, will obviously Fraser Foster get a chance if he continues this? I mean, it's a big call to drop your captain.
Yeah.
And Fraser Foster isn't. He's a good goalkeeper.
I wouldn't say. I don't think Forster will get a chance. But the thing is, Forster's not been brought in to replace Lloris.
No.
And that's our biggest issue. So, like you said, Lloris has been there 10, 11 years, whatever, loads of appearances, played loads of games, has been a brilliant goalkeeper at times, but there's got to be a point where you've got to move on. You've got to look for something else for. Like with Kane, for example, he will not be there forever, and when Kane goes, we are stuffed.
Do you not think?
We are stuffed. Huh?
You don't think he's going to be there forever?
No. Well, I mean, he might be, but as in, when he retires.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
And that might be, I don't know, it might be 4, 5, 6 years away, but even then, I'm thinking at that time, we are stuffed. And Lloris is no different, and why, I just don't know why no one's ever tried to bring someone else in. The closest we got to it was Gazaniga, but he only played because Lloris was injured, obviously a horrific injury. And Gazaniga was okay, he was like a solid Premier League goal. It wasn't fantastic, but he was just different to see, and he done okay in a few games, but that's the closest we've ever got to number 2.
Do you know we signed Joe Hart?
Yeah.
It's decent!
He's
decent!
He's awful, and you see him at Celtic now, but that's what I'm saying. We signed Joe Hart, Fraser Forster,
Brad Friedel.
Random Spanish bloke that now plays for Marseille, I think, So, Lloris.
Who's your one to watch?
My one to watch is a positive one, if you like. And I've gone for Kulusevski. I said it before, and he's out injured at the minute, but he's brilliant. And what we've seen recently, we miss him massively. We do, and he's just a brilliant player. And in the formation, the style that Conte plays, he's perfect. He carries the ball. We can dribble with the ball. Gets past players. He's obviously a very good left foot. He's a very intelligent player. And when he's back fit, I think we'll see a difference.
When is he due back?
Well, we were hoping this weekend, but again, he wasn't in the squad. Potentially could make the squad tomorrow, but ideally by the weekend. But then if it carries on, there must be something horribly wrong.
And my flop, I've gone for Richarlison.
Yeah, there's a few players.
I think that's a bit harsh, but he's played 10 games, no goals, £60 million. I know that's just a stat. It doesn't say he's played. He did play well when he came on, and he hasn't obviously started all the games. I just think
he's a tough one. I mean, I did think of him, but I don't know.
I also really don't like him as a person. he's
them,
every single opposition fan.
If he's not on your side, you despise him. But he scored twice in Champions League on his home Champions League day, which was quite exciting to see, and was good. And he has had his moments so far, but there's still, like you said, a lot to be desired for Richarlison. Definitely.
And I will quote what you said about him. He needs to stop crying.
Yeah, he does. I texted the other day.
Too many tears.
What did he cried in Champions League, and then he cried the other day.
He got injured, didn't he?
Just stop crying.
He needs to stop crying.
Just get over it. Stop crying. But that's absolutely fair point. My flop is, spoke about him briefly, Basuma at the minute. I just think, I was hoping, and I'm thinking he's still capable, but I was hoping he could come in straight away and start and be our centre midfielder. But like I said, 11 appearances so far, just looks all over the place. To be honest, looks almost frightened, playing really within himself, and he obviously is. He's obviously worried about not playing again and doing what Conte wants, which is fine. But you've got to express yourself and try and play with that bit of confidence. But Basuma for me at the minute.
Yeah, perfect. Should we have a quick break and then we'll come back to Fulham, Villa, and Leeds?
But briefly, I just got one final thing to say about Tottenham. I've got a lot here, but
here we go.
I'm missing bits out. Just the final thing, and all I say is, we always get called Spurs here. It's typical Tottenham, but ultimately, is this just Tottenham? And I've got here. We've tried it all. We've tried new up and coming managers. For example, V.S. Boris at the time was supposedly the next best thing. He's Mourinho's godchild and all this rubbish. We tried him, didn't work out. we had the best players. We've had Modric, we've had Bale, we've had Berbatov, and they were brilliant at the time. We sold them for lots of money, so we were then reinvesting the money. Got a wide range of players from all over the world. Didn't quite work out. We've not spent money, so we had Poch and that era of a group of players that were brilliant. We spend a bit of money here and there, but we were sold right. No, Pochettino's going to be the man. This is a squad. We're going to do things, achieve nothing, and then we've spent loads of money. We've spent loads of money on managers. Do you know what I mean? We've done
Mourinho,
everything. We had Mourinho, arguably and still arguably the greatest manager of all time. Didn't work out. Was awful. We've now got Conte paying him one of the highest wages in world football, let alone the Premier League. And we're performing the way we are at the minute. This summer just gone, he spent all that money, brought all those players in. I just don't know. And even that, we've had the best players. So Kane, arguably the best striker in the world, we've kept him. Levy last summer could have sold him, made absolute tons of money on the bloke, but he's kept him. We've kept Son for now. We've tried everything. Is it ultimately? Is it just Tottenham? Is it just us?
It's a good question to ask, and I will say we're episode 15, and I'd say in under a year's time, mate, we're going to be sitting here and we're going to be discussing Pochettino at Spurs again. And whatever he's doing, maybe he's rekindled himself at Spurs or they're still struggling.
Yeah.
He'll be the next manager. He'll be the next manager. He's sitting there waiting to come back home.
He is waiting for and that's the thing.
Conte don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Poch does. I think Poch is a nice cheap option. Obviously, you're gonna have to pay more money to sack Conte. Actually, no, you won't because his contract runs out soon. So it's a nice cheap option. And
you could be correct.
I just think it's one of them things that I don't know. Maybe it's just Tottenham.
So yeah, on that bombshell, we'll come back very shortly.
Good evening. 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 Good evening.
Good evening.
Dracula has returned. So from one manager under a bit of scrutiny, can't get words out, to a manager that's been sacked and replaced by Dracula.
Unai Emery.
Unai bloody Emery has returned. Wow.
That was following Villa's pretty abysmal display, wasn't it? Fulham away in the midweek.
Yeah, well, that was shambolic, but I did not expect Emery to be in charge.
No, yeah.
I came out. No, you sent me the link and I was like, clicked on it. I was like, what?
Like one of those sort of fake reports that just someone had conjured up, but yeah, I mean, Emery's back.
What is going on here?
It's a very. I know it's one of those. I mean, they supposedly paid a release clause for him, and
€6 million.
It can't have just been an overnight thing, right? We were rubbish night. Get rid of Gerrard. Let's get Emery, and they must have been thinking about it. And yeah, I don't know. It's a brave one.
Well, according to reports, I don't know what you believe of that, but obviously they spoke to Poch. He was like, no. They contacted Tuchel, didn't they, as well? And he was like, no.
Apparently.
And was it Gerrard's old assistant now at QPR? They also talked about, and he turned it down. Someone from Wolves or something.
Michael Beale, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was the one that
Wolves wanted, and he
was with Gerrard, I think, in his like backroom stuff, and then he took the job at QPR, and supposedly he's sort of like he looks like he's going to do well, and maybe one of the next managers that gets a chance in the Prem. But yeah, he said no, he stuck to his guns and stayed at QPR.
Yeah, like I said, it's a strange one for me, that. I mean, Emery's in his comfort zone at Villarreal. He's won a Europa League there. That's what he's good at. His biggest stumbling block at Arsenal was his communicational skills.
Yeah, I mean, I've got here some like a few figures and whatever, but Arsenal he finished 5th, I think. Is that correct? I might be horrible.
Yeah.
And then he was 8th in his second season, but got sacked quite early on.
Yeah, lost like 7 games on the trot.
Oh, really?
Something
Okay.
like that.
So he just... Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really remember Emery as such, but what was he just having a mare?
Awful football. Awful signings. He overtook Wenger's last team, which wasn't a bad team. It was probably Wenger's worst team, but it wasn't a bad team. You had Ozil, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Koscielny was still there.
But of course, he was after Wenger, wasn't he? He was
the first one.
So that's always going to be whoever that was. It was going to be horrible.
It just didn't work, mate. The worst thing was he lost the fans and the players in the last 5 to 6 games of the season where we lost to Palace, we drew to Brighton at home, we lost to Wolves away. I think we needed to get 1 point to get in the top 4, and then we went and lost the Europa League final, and that just finished him off. He was done from there.
Yeah,
the one thing he was brought in to do, win the Europa League.
He could.
That was.
But then, like you said, he's won. I think he's won it 4 times. 3 with Seville and one at Villarreal, didn't he, in 2021? So I know he's got a ridiculous amount of experience, over 950 games across. I think it's 7 sides, and I think he started in Spain in second division and sort of made a name for himself and got promoted. So I don't know. There's a lot of European experience and pedigree. Yeah,
it's an interesting one because obviously Newcastle went for him originally.
That is one thing I was going to say, that Newcastle, that he supposedly, again, like you said about the sources information, but Unai Emery was their first choice, was their main man. You see Newcastle now, the money they've got and what they're trying to do. So yeah, there must be something about him. You don't know yet, do you?
My thing with Villa though is that obviously Gerrard got sacked in the week. I was actually rattled by. I was on the train back from Arsenal on the Thursday, and I was chatting to a West Ham fan.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "Moyes out," and I was like, "Okay, who is there to replace?" And he was like, "Steven Gerrard."
Oh.
And the silence, I sort of looked at him like. I actually remember, I was with my dad at the time. I actually got up and left. I walked halfway down the aisle, and then my phone buzzed off, and he was just like, "Gerrard's been sacked," and I was like, "Well, I'm coming back down that train to chat to this guy." But do you think Gerrard deserves to get sacked?
Yes, I suppose. I mean, they weren't. I don't think Villa will go down. Also, they weren't going to go anywhere really. They were just going to be that mid-table side, and Gerrard wasn't. Like Lampard, I think their name precedes himself.
But like you said, is it just Spurs? What are Villa?
Exactly.
What are Villa to you?
Exactly. I've got here Villa. Villa to me are this side. So, when they're first in the last 2022. So this is from 2019 to 2020. They were 17th. 17th. Me and Tate.
We got exactly the same stats.
So Villa 17th, just escaped relegation when they're at West Ham away. Jack Grealish, blah blah. So obviously the first thing they just got promoted back in. Great, 17th, ideal. Then they're 11th.
Which they should have been relegated that year.
Yeah, they were awful.
Because of the they didn't turn on goal line technology, and they should have been relegated that year.
Season after 11th, good improvement. 14th, 15th, 16th when they got relegated. So 15, 16, then they got back into the 1920. So the 15-16 season, they were 20th and relegated, and they won 3 games. They won 3 English Premier League football games. And Tate, how many managers did they have that season?
Tim Sherwood, Remy Gard.
If you get this one, I'll just rip my paper up.
Tim Sherwood, then Remy Gard, and then
you'll know there's how many. So what's the number? So you've got 2. How many more?
Tim Sherwood started it.
Yeah.
And then Remy Gard took over, and then they had 1, and then did they have 1 then to lead them into the championship?
Yes.
They had 4.
Correct. They had 4. So in that season they had 4. I mean, you wouldn't get the third. It was Eric Black. I couldn't even tell you who he was.
He was the
other guy was Kevin McDonald, like a youth coach.
And they wouldn't have got him.
They give him a chance, but that is Villa. Like you said, what is Villa to you? That is Villa. Aston Villa are that.
And I don't know where they were when they got sacked. But as they won on the weekend, they're now 15th.
Yeah.
So 17, 11, 14 and 15, them numbers look, to me, from outsider...
Yeah, as they should.
Villa are always going to lose more games they're going to win because they're Aston Villa.
Yeah.
It's the same as... half the teams, but more than half the teams in the Premier League are going to lose more games.
We had that discussion the other week, didn't we? All the sides that are 20th to 8th, 9th. Like your Brentfords, Bournemouths, Southamptons, Villa, like
any of them could go.
Yeah, Everton at the minute, but Leicester, they're
also any of them could finish 8th.
Yeah. So, it's I don't know what Villa expect. I mean, supposedly they've got big owners, got lots of money, but
they do spend.
Yeah, they spend a lot, but obviously at the minute they can't attract the players because they're Aston Villa. But yeah, I don't know what they think they are, where they should be, but. Yeah, that is Aston Villa.
So over Gerrard's 31 games, 8 wins, 8 draws, 15 losses, and a 25% win rate, wasn't it? I think it was, over his last 31 games.
Yeah, Gerrard. Yeah, it's just... I don't know.
Then, like we just said, they are a mid-table team. if you're finishing 10th here and around 13th, like, is that not a good season?
Yeah.
You haven't got any standout players. What players from Aston Villa would you look at as, if you're taking over Spurs manager, you can sign one player? Who's signing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to, but the one to watch for me would be Douglas Luiz. But
I mean,
their squad is, like you're saying, their squad is just so
interesting. You say that because Arsenal put in some bids for him, and I didn't really want him. He was like, like he's a good player, but
I'll explain a little bit, but their squad, like you're saying, is just that mid-table average, like Danny Ings, an older Danny Ings, a Watkins that will work hard, score a few goals. Yeah, and then I just don't know. I just don't know what they expect. And Emery, I don't know. Emery's he's a brave one. I think it's just a very brave one.
I don't really know why he's gone there. Like, I thought, I don't know, maybe he could have got a bigger club in Italy or something. I don't know. But I think he's always wanted.
He wants to
challenge to come back and show that he can actually do it in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But what is doing it with Aston Villa,
exactly,
8th, yeah, that's good. Well done, but
because the thing is now, Emery, go on.
Unfortunately, you're never going to finish 6th unless you get a Saudi owner.
No, exactly.
The only reason Eddie Howe is doing really well at Newcastle is because they've spent like £200 million.
Yeah, and they've got loads of money and they're buying good players. But Emery's going to come in, and Villa. Now the Villa fans will be like, it's all right. Long as we stay in the league, we'll be fine. Then we go again next season. So what Gerrard? I don't know. It's just do you know what I mean? It's just it's very frustrating.
I mean, I wasn't a massive Gerrard fan.
No, I'm not. I don't think he's a good manager. He's done it in Rangers, but Rangers is like a League Two side and playing against non-league teams, so it's just not the same. And Celtic are their biggest competition, who are showing this year they're far better than Rangers. So I think the Scottish, you can't really count that as Gerrard, and it's tough for Gerrard. Like, what does he do now? He's got to drop down. He has to.
Well, that's we'll go into that later. But I've got I actually put to the spoiler alert is he was my loser of the week, Steven Gerrard, because my caption. Well, where next?
Oh no, that's fine. We'll leave it out. But it's after that defeat at Fulham, he said, "We'll see what happens moving forward. Football is in my DNA. Quitting certainly isn't." And within
he
2-3 hours, and he was gone.
Like that,
And you saw in the game, it was.
He knew he was done.
Yeah, he was defeated. He looked defeated. The players looked very similar. They just looked despondent, and they knew it was over. And that was the first minute of the game, and the fans were singing and chanting all sorts at him. So.
I think they said it was the first time Aston Villa have ever conceded a penalty, got a red card, and scored no goal in a game.
Yeah, I think they're the first team ever to do that. Yeah, not just Villa, but so.
But Unai Emery takes charge. He got appointed today, but takes charge as of November the 1st because of the work permit, and so he won't actually be in the dugout for the game against Newcastle.
The weekend, yeah.
But his first game will be on Sunday, November the 6th, against Manchester United.
Yeah, good start. Nice, easy start, isn't
it? So, Unai versus Ten Hag will be an interesting one. But have I got any more on Villa here? I actually think that they should have more buyout clauses for managers. I think that's quite cool.
Yeah, it's like FIFA.
They just spend £6 million to get him in.
Million, yeah.
But a quick one on Gerrard, and that moves me in nicely to my one to watch for Aston Villa, is I put Tyrone Mings. Because Mings, the situation, I think, finished him.
Oh, he had enough, and he had enough.
Finished. Well, he didn't want Mings. He brought in, who's the centre-back they signed? No. He's been injured. Carlos someone.
Douglas Carlos? No, I just made that up.
Carlos Sanchez maybe? I don't know. Carlos. They brought him in, but he's done his Achilles, so he's out until the new year, and that's why they got rid of. Well, they got rid of the captaincy off Mings, and because he didn't want Mings playing at that left centre back role, but I think Mings was obviously quite a popular character in the dressing room.
Yeah, he was the captain, wasn't he? And I'm sure and he was at recent times always been parts of England's squad.
Carlos Jr. Is that it?
I'm trying to get up now. The Wi-Fi's let me down.
But no, I've put him as my one to watch to see if Emery fancies him. If he's going to give him a go, will he change the captaincy from McGinn back?
Well, you see Sunday, don't you? I mean, the performance they put in without Gerrard is. I mean, they spoke about in TalkSport and other things, but it's almost a bit embarrassing from the Villa players, really. Like, how can you be what they were in midweek against Fulham, and then suddenly on Sunday be 3-0 up inside 12 minutes? Like, and that might, and yes, that does happen in football. You need to change your manager, things stale and go stagnant, but yeah, I mean they might turn a corner. Those players talking about Mings, Danny Ings, and Watkins, and Coutinho, Buendia, they all might suddenly turn it on.
Who's your flop?
My flop from where has it gone? Aston Villa is Coutinho. Talk about him.
So it's mine.
Yeah, go on, you
Philip
explain.
Coutinho. Well, what's he done this season?
Yeah,
What's he been paid this season?
probably gets subbed off because his back hurts.
Like, who in the Premier League would want to sign Philip Coutinho? Like, I just don't get that sort of player now is slowly dying out.
Diego Carlos.
I got
there in the end.
I knew it was Carlos something.
Sorry.
I just look at him and just think,
Yeah.
like against Arsenal, I think he came on for like 10 minutes and was just like, someone actually paid £167 million for you.
Yeah. And I think he's, like I said it last year when he first came in, I sort of saying what I'm about to say, but I think his injuries and his body is just failing him, and he's just nowhere near it.
I actually remember what you said a bit earlier. You said, Twitter, and Spurs fans were like saying, why have we not signed this left back, but we've got an aging one? And there were people going, why has no one got Coutinho out on loan? Because he'll play well for 5-6 games to start with, and then he gets his move, and as soon as they've signed him, he's done absolutely nothing.
No. Yeah, and a lot of Villa fans are saying that's part of the reason they've been poor. Gerrard's tried playing 2 10s with Coutinho and Buendia, but yeah, Coutinho's been awful, isn't he? And that's my flop from Villa. But quickly, my one to watch was, I mentioned it, but Douglas Luiz, and only because that I think he'll move in January. I don't think he's a brilliant player. I'm not like bloody hell get Douglas Luiz in, but I think he'll move to someone in January and do well for them. And
signed a new contract though.
Oh, is he just signed?
Yeah.
I'll just scrap that and end the pod there.
Because Arsenal obviously bid for him because he had 6 months left in his deal.
Oh, that's what I assumed. He still had that contract.
No, he signed it about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, well then.
Strangely enough. But
Yeah. Well, that scraps that then.
I thought you were going to go on about how he's nearly making corners look like free kicks.
Yeah.
Like he keeps trying to score them.
Yeah, I don't really get. I don't think he's that great. But then Villa have been awful, so it's one of them. But yeah, flop definitely Coutinho.
Shall we move from Villa to Fulham after a 3-0 win?
Yes, let's do it.
And Fulham, I've got my first note here on Fulham. The biggest overachievers in the league so far, for me personally.
Yeah, they've done well. In that last week, they're one of 3 sides to win both games. And yeah, started with absolutely thrashing Villa. But yeah, I think with that, it's like a lot of teams, and it happens all the time. But when they've got their 11, sort of 12, maybe 13 players fit and ready to play, they're a pretty tough side. They're a good team at home. They're good with Big Mitrovic up front. They're quite a handful, I think.
And what they played 12 games so far. They've already played Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool. I think they've already played Newcastle as well.
They're up to 7th, aren't they?
Up to 7th in the league. Quite an interesting stat for them is they've scored 22 goals and conceded 22 goals. So goal difference of 0.
Yeah, they're sort of gun ho, aren't they? They can definitely score, but yeah, I mean Tim Ream, wow, how's he even near the Prem? I don't get it, but yeah, they leak goals.
And Mitrovic for them has been
Brilliant.
Invaluable. Like how can Fulham 9 goals? I think he's already scored last time 3 in the Premier League.
Yeah, he was pretty.
So he's tripled his tally already.
Yeah, he scores 2 in a week. So he's loving life, isn't he? Scored 9 in 11 so far.
Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, and he loves a penalty as well. He's
missed a penalty as well.
Yeah, and he's just doing well. I think he's finally, and he's only. I mean, I always think he's like 33 or something, but he's like 27 years old.
Younger than me.
Yeah, he's perfect timing, really.
And I think they've signed well in the summer. Like 2 players I will mention is Anders Pereira, pre-season Perlo. He's playing a bit better now, not just in pre-season.
Yeah, he's my one to watch, Pereira. Yeah.
And his set pieces are a real addition to that team.
Yeah.
He's got 5. I've got my fantasy 5 assists and 1 goal. And I think about 4 of them assists are from corners.
Yeah, straight from. Yeah, I think Leeds win it. One of the goals straight from corner again.
And the other signing is Bernd Leno from Arsenal.
Yeah,
they got him on a very cheap deal. I think it was like £2-3 million. And I think he's a very, very good goalkeeper. He's a similar bit for me. He's a bit similar to Lloris. His feet is not great, but as an actual shot stopper, he can have games like he did against Man United, where he's just a joke.
And Fulham, in my head, are like battling relegation, but like we said, they're up to 7th. So Leno is probably more than good enough to play for like a top 8 club without a doubt. And yes, Fulham just want to stay in the league, but yeah, Leno then no, he's looking very decent.
So your one to watch was Anders Pereira. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit, or
no? Just similar to what you said. Really, just looks like a solid player. He was at United when he didn't really get given the opportunities and play as much. Obviously, a big, massive club like United, but yeah, he just looks like a decent player. He's in a side where he's now one of the bigger players and better players. Gets played all the time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
probably gets given, like you said, corners and roles to lead the team, and yeah, just started well.
Things like he wouldn't have got at Man United.
Yeah, he's not going to be the main centre fielder. He goes out to United team and just thinks, right, I've just got to pass the ball to a red shirt. But Fulham, he's probably trying things and playing a more advanced role. So,
and you to continue my theme of ones to watches, I wrote Willian and sick emoji.
Drawn the sick emoji as well.
I've drawn it. Because I don't really know how to say this in a sentence. I don't think I've ever said it before. Willian's playing well. He's just scored.
But we said
he's got a couple of assists, and I thought he's going there for the money. Like I don't know. I didn't get how that move even materialised. I mean, I know why he went there because he can live in London again, and his wife and kids can go back to the same school, and she can shop at Harrods.
That's the only reason I thought would be the only reason. But yeah, like you said, he
seems to be playing well.
Football. Yeah.
Like maybe it's because he speaks Portuguese and Marco Silva, not Scott Parker, is the manager.
Yeah.
And they obviously have a good relationship somehow. Maybe the agents know each other. He just seems happier there. He seems quicker. He seems to have lost his weight he had at Arsenal. Or maybe he was probably spending too much time in the canteen with Lacazette.
Yeah. Working on booty.
It's a one to watch for me. I just think if he can get 5 goals and 5 assists, he's obviously got Premier League experience. What if that does count for something like he's
at a good level though. He's not just been fight relegation. He's played for the best teams.
That's a good point. He's intriguing me. He's my one to watch because he's just intriguing me. I'm thinking, why are you playing well? Like, he's already scored more goals. Scored the same amount of goals for Fulham did for Arsenal.
And that's I think the obvious one for me would be Mitrovic, but he's the main man. He's scoring goals, and quickly on Mitrovic, he's in 159 matches. He scored 92 times for Fulham since making his move permanent.
Bloody hell!
Yeah, and for Serbia, he debuted in 2013. He scored 50 goals in 76 matches. So he's more than capable. And this season he's started well, and he's proving his worth.
Am I correct in saying they signed him from Newcastle?
I'm pretty sure he was either on loan at Fulham and then they made it permanent from Newcastle. So my one to watch Pereira. You went for your mate William.
I reckon we've got the same flop.
Your little look there. I think he's a.
Should we say it on 3?
Ex-Tottenham.
Yeah. Ex-Tottenham legend.
Yeah, hero at Spurs.
I'm going to do his celebration for the. We haven't got a camera here yet.
I think flop has to be, and an obvious flop for the season is Carlos Vinicius. Yeah.
Yep. Correct.
Probably got similar numbers on him, but 7 appearances so far, 0 goals. He's just a poor player. He played 9 times for Tottenham in the Prem, scored once. He was a bit of a Europa League hero, scored 6 goals in our group. But I just think why like that? I think it's just an awful last minute signing. Just right, we've got this opportunity. Right, we're just going to get him in.
Well, it's got to be something with you because again, he's a Brazilian. He can speak Portuguese. It's something probably an easy one to get over the line. They're probably similar agents to Marco Silva, and then the club they can get. It was a loan from PSV who cut. He's 2 year loan short. For me, he's just a walking red flag, mate.
Oh,
he plays for Benfica, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But he's been on loan at Spurs for 1 year. Been on loan at PSV for 2 years, but they cut it short.
Yeah. There must be.
Why are you then taking a chance on him? He's already proved he can't do it in the Premier League. He's proved he can't do it in the Eredivisie. Yeah. Why are you then signing him?
I just don't.
I mean, I know he's backup, but the drop is obviously not
exactly what you're about to say. Go for it. Go on.
It's not the same drop off as Kane to whoever it's going to be, but Mitrovic to down it's
huge.
It's huge.
Enormous. It's far for a team like Fulham as well. Like I said, that 11, 12 players, they have to rely on them week in, week out, and again, a team like Fulham aren't going to be able to do that. And Vinicius is absolutely awful, just an awful football.
I mean, I could even go out there and have a shout and say Fulham won't win a Premier League game this season that Mitrovic isn't playing.
Yeah,
I think it's that important for them.
That's not even like outrageous like that. That's probably probably quite likely to happen. Vinicius is not scoring.
He reminds me of. Do you remember Palace went like 5 years without a win when Zaha didn't play?
Yeah.
He's that sort of player who is just the absolute focal point, and he's one of the main reasons they're having a superb season.
Yeah, no, I like it. Definitely agree with you. Flop for Fulham, Vinicius.
And should we move on from Fulham? You've got any more to say on Fulham? Or
no, Fulham's all good.
Go from Fulham onto the team they beat on Sunday.
Yeah, the mighty Whites.
Leeds United, who are slowly but surely
they are dropping.
Creaking their way
down. They are really dropping. And I haven't got too much on their games as such. They got beat by Leicester 2-0. Terrible Robin Koch own goal. I don't know if you saw it or watched it, but what a shocking bit of defending.
Have you been to Leicester away before?
Yeah.
So I've been there once, and that goal is right in front of the away. That end, isn't it?
Watched it, you'd have seen your defender. You'd have been probably made eye contact with him, like, surely not, mate. Please don't do what you're about to do. And he does it and rolls it in the back of the net. So lost 2-0 at Leicester. Struggling Leicester as well. And then Fulham at home. Yes, it was 3-2, so you think, it must have been a close game, but it was 3-1 and Leeds scored late on. It was almost a consolation, but I just don't know. They're just. I mean, I said it at the first pod, I think, and that was sort of, I thought they'd go down, but their recent form, they are all for them. In the last 5 they've drawn and lost 4 in a row, so it just tells you what's happening, doesn't it? It's just they're having a stinker.
No win since August. And like I said, my thing for them, if they've got a rookie manager who's got no Premier League experience, and they didn't sign any Premier League proven players, they signed Tyler Adams, Brendan Harrison, Marco Rocca, Somerville, Siniesta, and I think there was one. And actually, the only guy that did sign at Premier League was Joel Robles.
Robles, but he's like the third
choice goalkeeper.
And you're saying that, and go on, you carry on.
They just look lost. I don't see anyone there. I don't watch Leeds enough to be able to make this to be 100% right on this.
Agreed.
They don't. There's no player there who. They've got Ayling and they've got Cooper, who are probably their leaders, but they're borderline Championship, lower league players.
I think me and Tate are the same human being, honestly. I think he might have copied and pasted my notes. I'm not sure. But carry on, because what you'll say, I'll
No, you carry on. There's no one there, and it sounds such a Brexit FC British mentality. Yeah. Who's rolling your sleeves up and who's helping fight? Yeah. They're full of kids. Mesley is a good goalkeeper, but he's 21.
I've got here. So we don't confer. We say we text each other and say, we'll talk about this week, blah blah, and we'll go away and do our own thing. But so, like you said, Leeds squad. Their players around them, this for forwards, they don't score a lot of goals, blah, blah. That's an obvious problem.
I've got no goal scorer here as well.
They obviously have a huge issue with scoring goals, and the players around them and that support them don't score either. So Harrison's, your Sinister, or whatever his name is, like, they're just not good enough. And like exactly what you said, they've got a young, experienced squad, but they're also their older, experienced, so-called better older players are experienced all at the wrong levels. So, for example, Luke...
You said it perfectly there.
Luke Ayling, 170 appearances in League One, 220 appearances in the Championship. Robin Koch, 82 appearances in the Bundesliga, spent 3 seasons at Freiburg. They finished 15th, one place outside the relegation, 13th, so slightly higher. They won one more game than a team that got relegated. And the season after, when he moved to Leeds, they finished 8th, so just outside Europe. Last player, Mateusz Klich. 56 appearances in Polish top division, 86 appearances in the Eredivisie, 96 appearances in the Championship. And yes, they were young, and I've said here that it's incredible. It's admirable. You commend them for achieving and reaching the Premier League, something I'll never ever do. I can only ever think about. And it's brilliant. But ultimately, these sort of players aren't going to keep you in the league, and they're not going to sustain the levels you need to stay in that Premier League. So it's just. I don't know, it's funny that you've basically got very similar notes.
And they also have Emerson Royale's twin left back, Junior Firpo.
Oh. I've just got here. So we'll go into it now. I mean, I can't say much more. But
don't tell me you're going.
So who's your flop from Leeds?
I've gone Bamford, actually.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can get to about Bamford. My flop is Firpo. 2 appearances so far this season. Obviously, Marsch doesn't fancy him. Last year at Bielsa, he plays 24 times. few as a sub, whatever, but gets a lot of more minutes. But what a shocking player he is. I've got here, left-footed Royale, question mark. Like, he's just awful. He's just an awful player. And he's not a signing. I think he's just a massive flop and shouldn't be anywhere near the Prem.
What makes me laugh is that him and Royale, this is completely off subject, completely sum up Barcelona for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, how have them two players come from Barcelona?
What has happened to Barcelona? And then they produce, or supposedly produce these players, and they're just shocking. Firpo, Royale, prime examples.
And they were the two, shambolic ones. I've gone Bamford. Maybe a bit harsh, but he hasn't scored this season. Still, from last week against Arsenal, that was just a shambolic performance.
That was a lost moment.
He missed another chance against Fulham. I just look at him and just think, no, I don't know what it is about him.
He just, like you said about the other players, Cooper and Ayler, they're just championship. They're just a championship.
He had that one good year in the Prem when he first came up, but apart from that, every time he's been in the Prem, he's been shocking. Yeah,
and like you said, they've tried to sign a few players here and there from supposedly bigger clubs, but they're all quite young. They're all very inexperienced. They all don't know each other. They don't know Marsch. I think they're quickly dropping, and they're only going one way. So
they've collected just 9 points from their first 11 games, and that's the fewest of any league campaign for them since they last got relegated in 2003, 2004. And they've got Liverpool, Spurs, City, and Newcastle next.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad news.
I don't think they'll get any points out of them.
No,
Spurs at home, is it?
Yes, it is. That's after the World Cup, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think they'll get any points out of them.
Yeah, if they get 3 points out of those 4 games, then they'll be over the moon. But yeah, I can't see it at all. Do you have any Leeds players one to watch?
Only because of my mate Benno from Feyenoord. Said he was a very good player like last year. I've put him because I haven't really watched him that much, but apparently there's a player in there. He's scored goals in that league. He scored goals in Europe. I know it's the Conference League. Maybe he's just playing for a bad team at the moment, and he's obviously young, learning the league again, but I don't know.
Yeah, similar. One to watch. I put loads of question marks, and I said maybe Sinistera. Yeah. But in saying that, he's got red carded and scored twice away at Everton, Brentford when they lost 5-2, and drew with Everton 1-1. So I mean that's a more that I've almost wanted to put something, so I just put him.
We've got crumbs to pick from, haven't we?
Yeah, Leeds are doomed, like I said, and Marsch, like I said last week. Go back to America, mate. Get on that flight. Get on that flight and go home.
I think that we've summed up them 4 teams very well. We'll have a quick little break, and we'll be back with Question Time, which is a new segment, which we will explain after the quick break. Team of the week and winner and loser.
Hello, listeners. It's former England and Premier League player Matt Jarvis here. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Remember to support the podcast by sharing with your friends and family and leaving that 5-star review. Now come on, you Irons, and stay loyal.
Welcome back, and welcome to our new segment, Question Time. So, for those of you who follow us on the Lager Laws Instagram account, you would have seen that last night we posted questions for you to ask me and Jack to get our views on anything. It doesn't have to be football related, or it can be, or anything. And we had 6 responses from our fans. Yeah, so thank you very much for that. And it's hopefully if we get more questions in or whatever, it's a good little segment.
Yeah, it could be like tonight we spoke about those 4 teams, and next week you want to, I don't know, whatever you want to, you support Southampton or you support Newcastle and you want to question about it, and go for it. Absolutely, yeah. Send them in, but yeah.
Or if you want Jack's number,
please, if you're a female. To be fair, males at this point. If you're a single male, please reveal yourself.
Yeah, or anything like that. Like it can be anything fun. Or the only questions we won't answer is where the bunker is located.
Yeah, you'll never find it out, Boyden.
So, do you want to kick us off, Jack, with the first question?
So this comes from Jack Jones, who's a fellow Tottenham fan, I may say, and a sort of a makeshift centre half. Should be in goal, but classic Sunday League centre half. But here we go. He's asked, name a player from each of the bottom 5 you would want in your squad.
So, shall we start from Forest?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't actually got anything down, so let's have a quick think. Nottingham Forest, for me, probably Morgan Gibbs-White.
Fair enough. Would you? Yeah, explain.
I'm trying to think.
Why.
It would be him or Lingard maybe. No, not. Can we cut that? Can we cut that?
Dancing on the Emirates.
Oh
no.
Well, it wouldn't be Sergio Aurier.
No.
Mate, I don't know. I haven't got much to pick from.
I mean, for me, it was I went for Henderson, the goalie, straight away. I just think solid English goalkeeper. I mean, he's a bit of a weirdo when he wears his cap, but I think he's quite a decent goalie. Probably good enough to find a better team if not Forest get relegated. So yeah, I mean their squad like bottom five for a reason. They're pretty poor, but maybe look at you'd think of Johnson. Maybe he's young. Quick,
although who's the fullback who played for Liverpool?
Williams.
Yeah,
Nico Williams. Yeah, he's quite a lively player as well. But yeah, I feel Henderson would be a decent goalie.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Wolves for me, Ruben Neves or Pedro Neto.
Yeah,
maybe Neto.
I've gone for Neves. Bit of an old school centre fielder, and bit of a player, sort of slick back hair, rolls his sleeves up, likes to put a tackle in. Very very good passing. His right foot's brilliant. His shooting, he's proven he's very good.
I'd actually go Neto. Actually, I've changed my mind.
That's fair enough. But yeah, I've said for some reason I have a weird sort of. I really like Jimenez.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, after his head injuries, he's not quite the same player. But before, I just thought again, bit of an old school thuggish centre forward. Don't score many goals, but a real target and just quite a decent player. But yeah, Neves for me.
It's gonna be a tough one. Leeds.
Well. Nobody. I don't want anyone from Leeds United. No one.
I'll be nice. I'll sign Luke Ayling.
Would you?
Only because I watched him play at
Arsenal. Cedric.
I watched him play for Arsenal when he was 16 and 17, and he never ever managed to play for the first team. I saw him once at a Youth Cup game against Spurs, actually once. But never played, so I'd like for him to fulfil his dream.
No, nobody. And
or Meslier.
No, I knew you were going to say that because I'm about to say this about the goalie. Like everyone claims, he's young and he's a good. No. I don't want anyone from Leeds. Please, nobody come to Tottenham.
Leicester. You go first.
Harvey Barnes for me.
Harvey Barnes, not a good one. Mine. Right, there's a couple. Obviously, the standout ones are Barnes and Maddison for me, but a player I do really like, and I think he would be knocking on the England door a bit more than if he hadn't got that bad injury, would have been James Justin.
Yeah, the fullback.
Yeah, I think there's a player in there.
He's everything you want in a modern player, isn't he? He's athletic, he's strong. Obviously, he's had a rough injury. I think you either both foot or plays both sides.
Yeah, he's right-footed left back, but he must be pretty decent with his feet. Yeah. But on current form, I'd have to say Maddison. He looks really good at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not having Maddison, but
I just like him.
Yeah, I just think he's that sort of mid-table. Like he's not a bad player, good number 10, scores quite good on set piece and things like that. But yeah, I wouldn't say he'd improve. He wouldn't improve Arsenal. I mean,
Ndidi, Tielemans.
Nah, Tielemans this year just
how good was his goal?
Yeah, great goal. Bloody what a belter! But he just looks like a lump, doesn't he? Just looks like a slow, sluggish centre fielder.
Yeah, I think that's the reason we never touched him because he's got a bit of puppy fat around him.
Yeah, a bit of timber.
And Southampton.
I'll let you go first. I've got my choice.
I was going to say it's that because you don't know. We played him at the weekend. I can't say I was particularly impressed by anyone, but a player I have got a soft spot for is Che Adams for some really weird reason.
I nearly went for Che Adams because
just because I really wanted him when we had Lacazette. I just thought it was
just something you were desperate. Yeah. Bloody hell!
I remember being last season. I was like, I'd love to sign Che Adams in January. I was just like, he actually looked like he ran around, he held the ball up, rather than Lacazette just putting his big bunda in the people's faces.
I mean, the obvious one, everyone probably think of like Ward-Prowse, but I have mine's after the weekend. I'm probably butchering his name, but I'm going to say Lianco. He played right back against Arsenal, and within I don't know how long Nketiah had played, but Lianco had started the whole game. Towards the end, he just wanted to kill Nketiah with that.
He headbutted him twice.
He nearly went for the headbutt. He's just a tatted up Brazilian, bit of a skin fade, just looks hard as anything. And yeah, just throw him on last minute to cause a bit of a ruckus.
How that man didn't get red carded.
Oh.
He punched Jesus in the back twice.
Yeah. He just
then
wanted to fight him. I don't know what
headbutted
he was on.
Nketiah twice, then strangled him.
Oh, yeah,
Yellow card for all 5 offences.
Yeah, Lianco for me.
But no, I really like that question.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you, Jack.
So let's move on to the next one from our buddy James Griffiths. Thoughts on the handballs in the West Ham United game?
The goal they scored to make it 1-0 has to be a handball. It just has to be. And you're not because I was West Ham and you're Spurs. No, it just is a handball.
So the rules say if it doesn't lead up to the goal, then it's not a handball. Okay, that rule's fine in principle, but who defines how long lead up means?
Yeah.
What?
I think
if it's 20 seconds, probably fair enough. But if the ball doesn't leave the 6-yard box,
no. And I think they go by it directly leads. So
yeah.
Kera's handball, the next touch has to be into the goal.
Yeah.
So yes, on that logic and that wording, then the next touch is not the goal, but. Like you just said, how does that handball not lead to them scoring that goal? It's ridiculous, and because that ball could have dropped, he could have been tackled. He could have easily just let it drop and score, but you don't know that. And the handball definitely allowed them to keep the ball within the goal line basically and score a goal. It just has to be a handball.
Well, not even that, but if you actually watch it, I've watched it a couple of times now, and I remember playing volleyball at school, and the ball would come over the net, and you'd have your hands. I can't show that it's the position. But you pop it up like that. And the way he's jumped, if that hits your belly, the ball goes down.
Exactly.
Ball goes down.
It drops down, yeah.
It doesn't go back up in the air again. But
yes, I just don't get it. I don't know, and it's just same. It's boring talking about it, but it's just, again, the refs, all that rubbish.
The penalty?
It's rubbish. Penalty, okay, fine. But what about all the other decisions that haven't been given?
So the ref doesn't give it, VAR gives it. I think it's harsh. I mean, I know people are saying, "Oh, it probably are," but it's harsh, man. You're sliding in.
Yeah, it is harsh on, like I just said, on the decision.
He's not meaning to handball the ball.
No,
but neither's Kelly. But Kelly's it's more.
It's led to the goal.
It's led to the goal. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know what handball is anymore. So
no, it's ridiculous even trying to explain it, I suppose.
So I'll go for the next one here quickly from our long-time listener and Lincoln loyal Andy Boyden. I think this one was mainly aimed at you, Jack, more than me. Honest opinion. Where will Hammers finish this season?
Do you want my honest opinion? No,
yeah.
I'll be serious.
So they're currently 10th.
I think that's where they'll finish up, 9th or 10th. 9th or 10th for me. But in saying that, I think in the Conference League, that's their priority. I think they'll finish 9th or 10th. Their squad, and at home they showed against Bournemouth. Bournemouth are the only unbeaten side since they got battered 9-0. They showed at home that West Ham they can play well and beat anybody. I know Bournemouth aren't a bloody scout, but they showed us against a Tottenham like that's what they're about. At home they'll win probably more than they'll lose. Away they'll get a few draws and nick a few results. They'll be fine. They'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I just think that Conference League is probably where they're really focused on, and sadly I think they'll go quite far in it.
Yeah. No, I think 8th. No, 8th. Sorry. My logic behind that is top 6 plus Newcastle.
Yeah.
West Ham are then the best team. Whether Newcastle will finish in that top 6, I don't know. But top 6 Newcastle, West Ham.
Yeah.
I think that's a
fair.
fair assumption.
I think that's fair, and if
like I said, if they're going to go further into the Conference League, their league form is going to slip.
Yeah, they're going to
like it has done the last 2 years.
They're going to rotate.
The last year, sorry.
Have to change players. Players will get injured, but the West Ham will be fine. They're slowly picking up some form, aren't they? And they'll beat the teams that are currently below them more times than they lose against them, so they'll be absolutely fine.
Do you want to?
Yeah, sorry. So we'll move on to Danny Buckley, a big gooner like yourself.
Actually, I think he's got given the best question of them all. I think I really like his question.
Wow, is it going to be an Arsenal player or?
No, it's
no, it's good. It's good. Good question. So Danny Buckley's gone with, what is your most underrated player this season who is not at your club?
So it can't be an Arsenal player.
So
I think it's a good question. One I haven't actually thought about. So, top of my head, there's a few. Have you got one?
Not off the top of my head. I have to. Yeah, give me a minute. I'll let you talk and I'll think.
So one I did think of straight away when the question came through was Longstaff at Newcastle.
Yeah.
Didn't Didn't start the season in the starting lineup, but slowly got himself in there. And I think some of the performances he's been putting in. I know back when he first came, it was obviously. Do you remember their little banter, the rivalry the West Ham and Newcastle fans had about who was better, Longstaff or Rice? And then I know he had, because United tried to sign him, didn't they? Solskjaer tried to sign him for like 30 million.
Yeah.
And they rejected it, and then he got a really bad injury. And he came back with his brother against Man United. I think they both scored. One of them scored. But no, it's just off the top of my head, he's playing really well. And I would say something like Almiron, but I wouldn't say he's underrated this season now.
Yeah,
a lot of people are talking about him.
Exactly. Yeah.
And maybe another one off the top of my head, Iwobi. He's slowly getting a bit there. People are talking about him now.
And he's playing well within their system. I think, like similar to what you just said about Almiron, but he's not underrated because he's obviously brilliant. But I love Declan Rice. I think he's a fantastic centre fielder, and he plays for West Ham in a minute, who are probably going to be mid-table. So maybe like I said, he's probably not an underrated player, but
he could still be. He's playing at such a high level, but
he's still not at a big club, I suppose.
But he probably still doesn't get the respect. Maybe someone that I know, a Casemiro gets just because he plays one good game against Chelsea. It's.
I mean, you said Longstaff, and like sort of now you said that, I just can't stop thinking about Newcastle players. But after the weekend and when they played against us, I mean, you could pick any of their sort of back three they played, but Dan Burn for me he's just a man mountain, and he'll go under the radar. He probably won't go to the World Cup, but he's just an absolute monster, and he's 6'5", big centre half, strong, and he plays within that system so well.
He isn't slow either.
No, he's not. I mean, to be in a Prem, you can't be a slow centre half, but I think that I'd go with Dan Burn as my choice.
Yeah, that's a good one. And penultimately, we've got here Freddie Bourne. Shout out Freddie, friend and podcast enthusiast.
Who went to the game on Sunday as well.
He did.
Sorry about the result.
He did pull me aside on Saturday. He was like, I'm going to the game with Jack and Darren on Sunday. He goes, I'm a bit concerned though. I was like, what's that? He goes, I really don't have a good record at Newcastle.
He's been through it with me. Or like the games he's been to, bloody hell. Some of the things he's seen. I think he went to Bayern Munich at home, with Tottenham home when we got absolutely destroyed.
On his birthday.
Yeah. Then he was at Norwich in the Cup when Dyer went into the stand and wanted to fight. He went to Brighton, I think, in a Boxing Day. We won 1-0, which is a nothing game. And he's seen Newcastle, so...
I mean, I'd love to be able to put this question in Freddie's lovely, delicate voice, but
dulcet tones of Freddie.
You'll have to listen to my annoying twang of weird laughing.
Don't laugh.
I've been pulled up on that.
Yeah, I didn't want to say. I've had a few.
Been pulled up on this laugh. Who apparently this laugh has never heard it before. It was a Højbjerg laugh.
Yeah, it must be.
Who is better, Emerson Royale or Serge Aurier? With the defunct knees of Jack Gindle-Brown and Andy Boyden.
I think I'm better in my current state than both of them. Or when I had the operation, better than both of them. But Aurier for me. Not that that's a big statement, and Aurier.
You would rather Aurier play right back than Royale?
Oh, without a doubt. Aurier's awful, but I don't think you understand how bad that man Emerson Royale is.
See, no, I would disagree.
No, great, please.
I would rather Royale play than only because I haven't really got much to base this on. Royale's has had more better games than Aurier. I'm putting that on because I remember seeing Aurier just having some.
Oh no, Aurier's
I think Aurier's probably had more like
Stinkers
calamities, big calamities. Like I'm just picking off the top of my head. Do you remember that red card? No, it wasn't even for Spurs. The red card he got against England in a friendly.
Yeah, I recall.
What you're captain getting sent off. Aurier, just remember when he played against the Bayern game and things like that. Like I don't know. I'd probably. It's like picking at two out of tens in a nightclub.
It's bad.
Who's worse?
Bad news. Yeah, they're both shocking players, and that's what I keep saying at Tottenham as well. But that is one thing everybody agrees on. You talk about football, talk about Tottenham, and you have arguments and disagreements about everything. But one thing is, everybody knows Royale is awful, absolutely awful. So, yeah, for me, Aurier. But honestly, I'd rather play play myself with no legs, so yeah, it's not good.
And
but yeah,
finally,
cheers, Freddie. The last question has come from our friend in the States, originally from Southampton, the big Saints fan, Callum Doyle, and he said, probably aim this one at you, Tate. How did Southampton not beat Arsenal?
Because they didn't score more goals than them. No, I thought Arsenal played very well in the first half and should have been out of sight. And then the second half, it just didn't come out really. They looked tired, lethargic. Southampton was slow. I was getting frustrated watching it because I was like, I can see where this is going.
Yeah.
When Southampton scored, really out nothing really, counter attack, and then Arsenal just managed the game horrifically. They just didn't play very well. I credit Southampton that they got a win out of it.
I think it's been pretty poor, but that performance they put in is something they do against us and like the bigger sides. They just randomly.
It's frustrating.
They just randomly turn up at home, and you think, well, where have you been? What are you doing? Like Ward-Prowse is brilliant, and Che Adams might have a blinder. Just think, where have you come from? But yeah, wasn't that you didn't play at Emirates, did you? At the weekend?
No.
I was away. Oh right, that's why you didn't win. Okay.
What did we do last week? We won away.
So you've played United, lost, and you've drawn against a terrible Southampton side.
We've played 11 games and we've won 9 of them.
No, I'm just clutching at straws. We're all.
No, we have got a tough game at the weekend. We got Forest at home, so
yeah. You're back. That's fine. You're back at home. What's that? 8-0.
No, they just beat Liverpool. Back.
Aurier. Talking about Aurier, he'll be playing against you. Oh God.
Back on the carpet.
Yeah.
Just to quickly mention it, that Forest did beat Liverpool 1-0. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Did you know that striker who scored?
Yeah.
Used to play for Liverpool, but never played.
Never got a second, but I wouldn't even know. I mean, I don't know if he wasn't celebrating because of that. I really hope not, but I think he was just trying to pretend he was a big man. When he scored, he just sort of strutted about, but. Yeah, big result, but if you saw the game, Liverpool just battered them. They just couldn't put the ball in the net. But thank you for the questions, guys.
I really like that segment, and hopefully we can do it. More questions you pop in, the longer the segment we go, and
keep
shouting out. We'll shout you out. We can mention your Instas, your Twitters, like Andy's single for all them females out there.
You've probably been on a match for him on Tinder or Hinge at some point, so
or Bumble,
or any of the above,
or Grindr.
So you probably know that is already.
So let's move on to the team of the week. Quickly, we have picked our goalkeeper, but there was a potential second one that I didn't really think of was Henderson. He did have quite a good game.
Yeah,
I just remember his save against Van Dijk's header in the last minute was described as boofing it out. We actually went for Ward in the end, didn't we?
Yeah. I think two clean sheets, wasn't it, in a week?
Two clean sheets in a week.
Yeah, 2 wins. Leicester, Newcastle, and Fulham. Only 3 sides to win both their games, or teams that play twice. But Ward 2 clean sheets, and obviously after the howlers they've had, and he's had in particular, that's a great week, I think, for Danny Ward and Leicester.
Have you got the stat on Danny Ward?
No, I've got no.
It's on my phone somewhere, but my phone's over the other side of the room. He went from conceding the most goals in the Premier League history after X games to then being second in clean sheets.
Bloody hell. Yeah.
I think he's two clean sheets off Edison and whoever the top one is, maybe Pickford.
Yeah.
So.
Or probably Newcastle Pope.
Newcastle Pope. Yeah, sorry, you're right. Yeah. So they're maybe slowly turning it around.
It's a big.
I wouldn't say he's improving.
No, I think Leicester are as a whole.
Yeah, but Leicester have got a nice, like we said.
Yeah, exactly.
Before the international break, they had a nice little run of fixtures. Yeah. Where they could go.
Yeah, they had a good run, and like we said, exactly what Tate said. I'm just happy we're sharing our knowledge basically. But yeah, they have a good run, and they're using it to their advantage, aren't they? Getting some good results.
Do you want to introduce the next defender then? Your mate, who you watched on Sunday?
Yeah. 1 second, I'll just get her up. Where's it gone? You might have to take over, Tate.
Well, I'll go for the other one while we wait. Yeah. So, I didn't even realise this, but we've got one big man and one very small man. So absolutely butchered his first name. I haven't got it written down, so I've gone off the top of my head. Martinez. From obviously he was given a lot of stick online in the press over Sky.
Yeah.
Carragher went in and said he could never play in the Premier League as a centre half, and he sort of epitomised this Manchester United this season.
Yeah.
Started horrifically.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a bit unfair because he was next to that big slab giant who's just that's probably why their form's turned around, because he hasn't been playing, and Martinez probably feels comfortable playing next to a 4-time Champions League winner, multiple La Ligas and a World Cup winner, not some rugby lad from Leicester, from Sheffield, sorry. And Martinez has grown into that role. He looks aggressive. He defends on the front foot. He's right up you. Every ball he wants to win, which I really like as a defender, and he's playing well.
Fully committed, and everyone's saying, I mean, we said it like when he played Brentford, but like mini Martinez, and everyone was joking about him and stuff, but he clearly just makes up for it in the other side of the game with his aggression and how he wants to, like you said, win every ball, every header. And yes, he's not the biggest, but he can make up for it. And it's a bit like you said, Brexit football, but the desire, that sort of effort and energy to win, that passion, that's exactly what he's doing at the minute. And yeah, he had Kane and basically the whole Tottenham side in his back pocket, and then went to Chelsea, and it was a close game, wasn't it? Really, for the whole time. But just on that, on United's game at Chelsea, when they scored, that was that is quality. The video that's going around of, it's like all the South Americans and obviously Fernandes, Portuguese, but that passion, that energy, like Anthony, Casemiro, Fernandes, even Martinez, there's a photo of Martinez at the minute grabbing the bloke's head, and he's like, I don't know who you are, but we're in this together, like to the end. And as a support, that's your dream,
innit?
That's all you want. Like, you just want your players to do exactly that, score late on, equalise, score a winner, and just go mental, like exactly what the Wayne would have done. And yeah, it was brilliant. I love that video.
And you tweeted it absolutely perfectly. And there's someone who's tweeted the video saying, "Grow up, it's a 1-1."
Yeah.
Like,
and shock is against Chelsea. When we equalised against them, they were saying, "Oh, you can't celebrate." You like what? So when Jorginho knocked in a penalty, everyone just went, "Oh, that's all right. Decent 1-0 up against United. Well done." Gave him a little round of applause. Like, just bore off. Celebration, please.
95th minute equaliser against anyone you celebrate.
Celebration, please. Get in the bin. That's you, Reece, as well. The other centre half or defender, Dan Burn, my sort of underrated player of the season. Yeah, just again, the weekend against us was solid. They got a good result in the week at home to Everton. 1-0 clean sheet, and then came to us, and again, Kane, Son, were nowhere near it. And Dan Burn, very good player.
For me, I think he has to go in the England squad, mate.
Well, like I said it the other week, but as a left-footed centre half in England, he's the best one. He's the best one.
And he can play in a 2. Like, he does play in a 2. He plays in the 4 at the back.
Yeah.
He can play left back. Like, I know Southgate loves a player who can play different positions.
Yeah. And it sounds awful, but he's massive. He's 6'5". Like, he's enormous.
Yeah, that was some of the reason people were saying play Maguire, because he's tall.
Yeah. And England and Southgate rely massively on set pieces, and Dan Burn couldn't be a better option. So, I mean, he's definitely we've got to be within his thoughts or close to, or if not in it. So
for me, I know Mings wasn't in the last squad, but he has to go over Mings. If Mings is
if
even
Mings
going to be,
goes,
because the only reason Mings gets picked is because he's left-footed.
Yeah. So if Mings is gone, and Dan Burn doesn't, then Dan Burn might as well never play for England, and if he ever gets a chance to. But I like Dan Burn a lot. So team of the week so far: Ward, Burn, and Martinez.
So moving into the midfield, I'll start with, from the 95th minute equaliser, was Casemiro.
Yep.
And similar to the Martinez situation at Man United, since he's come in and actually started playing, who would have thought they've improved in midfield?
Yeah, who would have thought that?
Who would have thought if you bring in a really good player who's played really well,
paid lots of money for him, won ridiculous amounts of trophies, Champions Leagues, like Spanish leagues. Yeah.
Like, he's such an upgrade on Scott McTominay. It's a bit frightening.
He can play on his own and be better than Fred and McTominay. Like, he's a brilliant player.
Well, he's got the ability to do that, and then you can push Eriksen a bit further forward. Fernandes can play a bit further forward.
Yeah, and that passion, like I said, that aggression and passion at the end was just brilliant. So
I think he also played very well against Spurs as well, not just the goal. He did play.
Yeah, he was
mostly. We said this. We've based this team of the week on the last two games.
The teams that have done well in those two games in a week, and Casemiro for the other midfielder, Almiron. Like we said, a bit of a. he's sort of a fashionable player at the minute, isn't he? He's sort of turned it round and he's playing really well. But yeah, his goal was it Everton, wasn't it? Was it
loved. No, the left foot curler one. I think.
Curler,
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry. The curler at home to Everton was brilliant, and then scores again against Tottenham at the weekend, and just played well. Like just was defended well within their structure and setup at Newcastle, and attacked well and was
always a threat.
Good player, yeah.
And Miguel Almiron has scored as many Premier League goals this month as Jack Grealish has since joining Manchester City.
And
and I
keeps
actually
going round, isn't it? The Grealish video of what he says about Almiron, but seems to be biting him in the back.
I actually think that stat is outdated. I think he might have scored more now. I think I actually wrote that down before he scored against Spurs. And finally, I mean, as we did mention that this has been based on the last 2 weeks, the last 2 game weeks.
Oh yeah, cool.
We put the striker
to the vote, didn't we?
To vote, and me and Jack are sitting here very disappointed.
Yeah, what?
Because the striker we voted for, both, hasn't won.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I appreciate the votes, but come on, guys.
There's an right answer here, boys and girls, and people who don't identify.
We do not. We're not
so, Danny Ings, Alexander Mitrovic, and Callum Wilson. You voted for
Mitrovic.
I voted for Mitrovic.
Yeah. It's the week. Danny Ings scored twice on the Sunday, but you saw they got torn apart at Fulham. But it's absolutely fine. At the weekend he was good when Villa were good. Gets 2 goals within 10 minutes, so less than that for him. But 3-0 up early on, you can't complain really. But Mitrovic scores twice only in a week and wins both games. But no, can't argue with the fans.
No, can't do that. But it ended up so, as of recording, Mitrovic 33%, Danny Ings 40%, and Callum Wilson with 27%.
Yeah,
and that sums up a nice team of Danny Ward, Dan Burn, Martinez, Miguel Almiron, Casemiro, and Danny Ings.
Few Dannys in there.
A little shout out Danny Ings. That you'd see he was he walked out the mascot. Have you seen that picture? It was a lovely little touch from him. So maybe an off-field thing has persuaded the fans. Maybe they were thinking more that way than we were just thinking blood-hungry goals.
We want goals for our striker, not charity.
So, should we move on to our penultimate segment of the winner and loser of the week?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. You start us off, go on.
My winner of the week, this man, Premier League legend, but he has had a quiet season so far. Mr. Chat Shit Get Beep. I haven't actually sworn yet so far. I might have said bloody a few times. I'm trying not to swear on this. And then we can post it maybe as a non-explicit video. So Vardy against Wolves, started the game on the bench, like he has most games this year, hasn't really played much. I think he came on about 60th minute before he came on, downed a red ball, came off the bench, got a goal, got an assist, got a goal, and with his celebration, he went up to the Wolves fans and was going the stinky breath celebration.
He's
an absolute dog, isn't he? He's so funny.
Oh, it's quality. I mean, when it's against you, it's the worst, but that is funny to see.
I mean, he has an absolute Premier League legend for me, and he's the first player ever to score 100 Premier League goals in his 30s.
Yeah, that is cool.
Which is something like we said about Leeds going with the Aylings, your Coopers, and our stories from the lower leagues.
Yeah,
this man has done all the lower league stuff, come up to the Prem and absolutely wiped the floor with it.
Yeah, and that's sort of slightly going back to Leeds, but that obviously it does work. Vardy's a perfect example of a lower league, non-league player going all the way to the Premier and doing well. Charlie Austin's another example that gets thrown about all the time, and there's plenty of others. Antonio at West Ham, off the top of my head. But exactly. Vardy, great shout for winning a week. My choice, I've gone for Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe, sort of / Newcastle, but mainly Eddie Howe. Like we sort of mentioned, two wins in a week, and I think for them the game at Tottenham was a big moment for them, like a big game and sort of a statement win, if you like, because I'm not saying Tottenham, I absolutely despise the way they're playing at the minute, but on paper, Tottenham away is a big game, and we're so-called part of that big six, and that's where Newcastle want to be, and I think they'll get there quite comfortably. But Eddie Howe, like I said, one of 3 sides to win both of their games this week. So for me, Eddie Howe.
Yeah, I like that word you used there, statement, because they played Newcastle 3. They played Newcastle. They played Man City 3-3. Should have won that. They lost in the 97th minute to Liverpool. They drew 0-0 away at Old Trafford, and then they got over the line at top 6 team. That is their statement win. And like I said, he's
good. And, I mean, it was like we said, they might not have wanted him as their first choice, but I think he's proven now he's got some good players under his squad, and they just look like a good side, and I think they'll be right up there, top 6 definitely.
No, definitely. And my loser of the week, like I mentioned earlier, is Steven Gerrard. For me, where next? Name a club he's going to go to. Like
what does he do?
Does he go back to Rangers? Does he? But then that's just a backward step. Do you then? For the problem, what I've got with him, it's like when Lampard got sacked from Chelsea. Where next? It was he didn't want to go to Fulham.
No.
He didn't want to go to Norwich. He turned down another club. I can't remember the other club he wanted to go to. Everton were like a nice little club that was sitting there ready for him to go to. He's got no affiliation to. That was a nice high level for him that he could go back in.
And a big Everton, like a massive sort of Premier League traditional club as well. So
obviously that West Ham fan on the train wanted Gerrard. I'd love to know what other West Ham fans would take Gerrard. Like I wouldn't.
I'll still talk about Gerrard, but my loser of the week sort of linked to Aston Villa. But Gerrard, what does he do? Does he?
His Liverpool dreams that are in the dust now.
Yeah, there's no way. Like they're not going to go from Klopp to Gerrard straight away. So he's got to prove himself.
He can't go abroad.
No,
because he's just not going to be able to manage.
Scouse, so he's in trouble.
Yeah,
it's a strange one. I mean, like I've always
maybe he goes to Tranmere. Like, I don't know. It's a
local lower league team. It's a sticky one, very sticky one. But I like it. Gerrard loser of the week. Like I said, mine's sort of linked to Villa. My loser of the week is Gabby Ogbonlahor. And you might think, what is Gabby Ogbonlahor doing? But he's got a role on TalkSport, and he has claimed that, I hope it's this week, I'm going to say it was this week, he said Tottenham should replace Kulusevski with Wilfried Zaha. And he also said Aston Villa are a massive club and do what they want. Tate's laughing because that is, I just put, what a div. Is he alright? Kulusevski should be out and Tottenham should replace him with Wilfried Zaha. Wilfried Zaha would have been my loser of the week for his behaviour this week, but just Gabby Ogbonlahor. He's in a position where he talks to thousands of people that actually sit there and go, oh yeah, I agree with you, Gabby Ogbonlahor. You're correct. You've played for Aston Villa. You've represented your country. Like you must be right. And thousands of people are going, yeah, I agree, and they're engaging with him and they're listening to him and actually believing what he's saying. It's just mental. Honestly, he must be getting paid just to wind people up like myself. He must be getting told.
Oh, 100. He's a very well memed man, and his classics. He always gets given the 211s and he can compare, and he always just like picks horrendous shouts.
I think it was there was a Brighton one I was saying at the time. It was where Varane or Webster. It was like Webster. It's like, are you all right, mate?
It was an easy one, Webster.
Yeah, and it is funny when it's not involving your club or whatever. But just what a donut, absolute div.
I do quite like that segment because there's some few Stitch. Remember, O'Hara was like Sleebert Sell. It's like, who even is he? He's been loaned out twice, clearly not good enough. Sell. And he was like, Cedric, good player, keep him round. Shut up.
Experienced head, yeah.
But one note on Ogbonlahor I quite like is that he does absolutely kill Leeds and Danny Mills.
Yeah, he does. And he has a massive problem with Klopp as well. When he gets in, Klopp's even mentioned him in interviews. Why are you getting rattled by Gabby Ogbonlahor?
If you hold your nose and talk, that's exactly how Gabby Ogbonlahor talks.
The Brummie accent is not good. Unless we got any Birmingham Midlands listeners, I'm sorry, but your accent's not great.
No, I like that. That's very funny. Right, that pretty much rounds up everything we've got to talk about, but we'll circle back to the teaser.
Yes, the header one.
The question I asked you an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, I think I've
Peter Crouch scored the most headed goals in the Premier League, but who is second and third?
I'm going to get this horribly wrong. Harry Kane?
No.
Headed goals. Giroud has got a few.
He's not in these two.
No, one more guess. And
I'll give you two guesses, two clues. What am I gonna? one. I'll give you 2 clues. One has scored a lot of goals in the Premier League, and the
Shearer.
other,
Shearer's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I say him?
And the other played for the same club as Gabby Bonglahor.
Aston Villa. John Carew.
No, I thought you were going to say that when I said that. One more guess. He's now famous for something outside of football. It's a TV show.
TV show. Oh, okay. Yes. I'm with you. And here are the stairs. And as you come through the front door, the stairs lead up to the second floor. Dion Dublin.
Yes, well done.
Yeah. No, first guess. At the start I was lost, but yeah, I like it. No, it's good.
Any idea how many goals Peter Crouch scored?
Headed goals. 36.
53.
Oh wow! Bloody hell, Crouchy.
I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
I mean, it does. But he actually wasn't almost renowned for his heading, was he? I know that obviously disagrees there, but yeah, when he was at Spurs, I wouldn't say.
I know he scored just over 100 Premier League goals. So
yeah,
it's basically 50% of his goals were headers.
Good, yeah, no, decent.
Crouch 53, Alan Shearer 46, Dion Dublin 45.
Love it. Very good.
And Christian Benteke was in the top 10.
Was he?
Yeah, I haven't got it here, but I read that he was in the top 10.
Oh, he's a rad one. He was doing okay at Villa. Seemed like he was quite a player now. Bloody
just off the absolutely gone.
Very good.
Right, I think that pretty much sums up episode 15 of the podcast.
Yeah.
I hope you've enjoyed listening out there. And yeah, it will be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcast, shall I say.
Yeah.
And you can continue your support by listening, liking, sharing, showing people you haven't shown before. Leaving a review if you haven't, 5 stars on either. Yeah,
just keep sharing it and passing it on, and thanks for listening if you are. And yes, it's just been loving it at the minute and continuing support. And for example, like when I go Spurs, and I see my mates and some people you see just at football, and they're like, oh yeah mate, listening to the pod, loving it, blah blah. So yeah, just more of that, and keep listening to it, keep sharing it. So thanks for listening again. But
yeah, we'll see you next Wednesday for another one.
Yep.
And yeah, stay loyal.
Stay loyal.